Lock in all sports, all plays, all 5% best bets for the next 30 days from your favorite WagerTalk handicapper for only $1.99 versus the regular price of $3.49 for a total savings of $1.50. Prices are already discounted across the board and no coupon is required. Just head over to WagerTalk.com, pick your favorite handicapper in the experts menu, and lock them in for 30 days across all sports for only $1.99.
You gotta love it. Welcome in. It is the Friday edition of the NBA Tip-Off Show. It is powered, of course, by WagerTalk.com. We got a loaded card here in the association tonight. A lot of very interesting games and situations. We got 4 of those games we're going to break down for you here today. They will include a lot of purple up there. That's Sacramento taking on the Lakers. We got some Bucks in Portland. We're going to talk the Timberwolves and Memphis, plus the Bulls, Jazz, and a couple of best bets. And, of course, we'll have an angle of the day, courtesy of our good friend John Ryan at sportsmemo.com. Hopefully, Merrill will be able to figure it out. Let's bring in the guys who we got here today on the Friday edition. Now, the IQ went through the roof here, people. I'm telling you that right now. Ski Profit in the house. Way to go, Ski. Of course, Stevie in the middle, Merrill, 2 R's and 1 L with us. And there he is, Teddy Covers, the Godfather, is back with us here. Good to see you, Teddy. And Ski, let me start with you, man. How's it been this week in the association for you? And as we're heading into the weekend, I know you mentioned something about you were doing a lot of volume early on in the year. You kind of pulled back a little bit. What do you got for tonight at Wager Talk?
Well, yeah, yesterday I had my best bet was on the Nuggets, so that was a winner. And the prop on Porter Jr. was a smaller play. That was a loser. So overall, had some profit yesterday. I've made 2 plays so far today, and I'm pretty close to making a 3rd win in the NBA.
All right, there you go, guys. Make sure you check out Ski at WagerTalk.com. All right, Merrill, you're in the middle where you like to be here, so talk to us, my man. What do you got going on tonight at WagerTalk.com?
Yeah, it's funny, Joe. It's such a full year endeavor for all of us. All the different sports, kind of one ends, one starts. And, since the start of the season, college basketball has been number one. I started 17-4, never looked back. Missed out on Tuesday in the Elite Eight. I took the wrong Pac-12 teams on and against in each game. But since then, I've gone a perfect 3-0 in baseball and basketball, in the NBA and baseball the last 2 nights, including a 2-0 sweep last night. Got the first baseball best bet. And by the way, be on at 5 o'clock Eastern later today here on Wager Talk TV with Dave Koken for the MLB preview show, and I will give out a free baseball best bet there. I've also posted it at WagerTalk.com for everybody free. My top baseball play for Friday and my top NBA best bet is available right now as well on my page at WagerTalk.com.
All right, good stuff. Next week, guys, make sure you check out First Pitch. As soon as Monday's over, of course, the MLB show will take over where the college basketball show is. 1:45 p.m. Eastern time. You'll be able to check that out each and every day during the week. And Teddy Covers, Wager Talk today, noontime Eastern time. You can catch him, and unfortunately, he's stuck next to the Prez most of the time. But Teddy, good to see you, my man. Talk to me. Good night last night for you and the association. What do you got in store for us tonight?
Yeah, I mean, the NBA's been consistently good for me, and I'm on another little run right now. I think 80% over the last 6 days, 2-0 last night, 57% dating back to the bubble. That's well over 150 plays now. So it's been consistently profitable, and we're in good form right now. I do have a pair of games up in the association for this evening, including one we'll be talking about on the show today. So if you stick around, maybe get a clue as to where I'm going in that game.
Big night tonight over double-digit games here in the association, guys. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to get to our Contrarian game in just a minute, but I do want to remind you here, all 3 of these gentlemen right now, this deal is going away, so a great opportunity for you to hop on with them. 30 days, all access. That means all sports, all plays that they have. Every one of their selections in all sports for 30 days, just $1.99 right now. If you head over to WagerTalk.com, head over to Ski's page, head over to Merrill's page, head over to Teddy Covers' page right now. Hop on, guys. 30 days for $1.99. It's an amazing deal. It's a great opportunity for you guys to start off the spring and summer quarter here profitable, and that's what we all want to do. Let's take a look at our Contrarian game of the day. Now, we broke down Golden State and Miami for you guys yesterday as the money kept coming in, as did the tickets from Miami. Turned out to be the right side there. The panel yesterday wanted nothing to do with Miami, unfortunately, but Golden State, they're back at it today. But we're gonna go west in today's game because we're gonna look at this Lakers-Sacramento team. Sacramento game. That's going to be 10:10 Eastern Time tip-off. It's all Sacramento. I can't even believe I'm saying that with a straight face. It's now up to 5 in some places. It opened up at Sacramento laying 4, then it went to 4.5. Now it's at 5 in a couple of spots. 85% of the money, nearly 65% of the tickets going to Sacramento. So, Ski, I'm going to start with you. We don't often get the Lakers in a contrarian spot like this all year, but talk to me. Do you agree with the market move, or might you be leaning the contrarian way with these Lakers here?
This is what I'm talking about, Joe. I can get used to this.
You damn straight.
Lakers as a contrarian. I like the sound of this contrarian play now. It's sounding better to me. Sacramento, I want no parts. I know I said that they're a buy a lot lately. I want no parts of them expecting to be winning by margin. So I know that they've been covering numbers lately, but which last one was a 5. So against the Lakers, it backs up a trend that I have for sure. It's road dogs to bounce back after they've been embarrassed as a home dog. Lakers plus 4.5. I love the contrarian tonight.
Going Lakers, loving it. Give it to me. They're going to purple and yellow. Love it, man. Although you're only wearing black, so I don't know what that means right now. But Stevie Merrill, talk to me, my man. 2 R's, 1 L in the middle. Do you agree with the market move, or do you think there might be some value here going the other way with the Lakers?
Yeah, I think there's value with the Lakers here, and this is a very contrarian play. I look at several different sources, as you know, Joe, for consensus plays. We do the college basketball video for the Final Four. We've done the NFL video this year that did very well, and this does look like the most public play tonight for all the sources I look at, the Sacramento Kings. So the Lakers are a true contrarian here for several reasons. When I last talked about the Lakers, I was filling in for Teddy this past Wednesday, and I did the big game breakdown on Wager Talk today. And I actually used the Milwaukee Bucks as my pick in that. And what I mentioned was the Lakers are just terrible. This is not the defending world champs. They're without LeBron. They're without Anthony Davis. When Schroeder is your leading scorer on the roster at 14 points a game, you got issues. You're not a Class A team anymore. Yet I also mentioned that they had beaten up on the 2 weaker teams they played recently. They beat Cleveland by 14. They beat Orlando at home as well. Their losses came against Milwaukee as expected, against Philly, New Orleans, who'd been playing very well, Phoenix, Atlanta, and then they beat Charlotte, Minnesota before that. I mean, so they've beaten the weaker teams. It's really been the Class A teams that are throttling them. So I think they can compete here against a mediocre Kings team, and I have no problem backing the LA Lakers in this spot, which is not something I've said too recently.
Love this. All right. Yeah, well, you don't find the Lakers, Teddy, very often in this spot. I mean, they signed Drummond, right? Then he stubs his toe or some crap like that. They lose him. Now they've lost everybody, but they still got some value here, don't they, tonight?
I don't want value with bottom feeders. Okay, Lakers are a bottom feeder right now. All right, in my power ratings, I have the Lakers in the range of Orlando, Washington, Detroit, Minnesota, Cleveland, OKC, and Houston. The very worst teams in the NBA. Okay, and you look at that roster without Anthony Davis and LeBron James and Andre Drummond, and you say, who are they going to beat? They're not going to beat anybody that's any good. You know who they. And they haven't beaten anyone who's any good. Lakers wins. They beat the Magic by 3, and they beat the Cavs. That's what they've done since everybody got hurt. So, no. Sacramento's actually playing good ball. All right. Now, laying a price with the Kings isn't always easy to do. They're not one. Though you actually look for the season, they're okay laying points. They've been a 500 team laying points. I think a game or 2 below 500, but they haven't been a disaster as chalk. I'm not playing it, but if I had to play it, it wouldn't be on the Lakers.
Yeah, I mean, there was no Colin Sexton in that win against Cleveland. I believe Merrill was playing point guard for Orlando when they traded everybody away during that win. So he's got a point, but I cannot wait to hear the buzzer beater best bets and Ski start off now that Teddy is flying in the face of the Lakers here. I love it. All right, guys, we're going to move on to our feet. Oh, I'm sorry. We also happen to have an angle of the day that's associated with our contrarian game. And the angle of the day, courtesy of John Ryan, our friend at sportsmemo.com. At least I can read this one. There's not a lot of equation numbers on it. Bet on road teams coming off a double-digit home loss that are now visiting a team they lost to earlier in the season. Now, these road teams won 16-16-2 against the number, 66%. That coming over the last 5 seasons. So taking the Lakers plus the points and sprinkle a little on the money line, Ski. How do you like that? Now, Merrill, do you agree with the angle here? Do you think there's some merit with that?
I don't disagree. And yes, it's back in the contrarian play. So I like it. It's an extra layer to that argument. It's a big sample size. Brian Leonard squashed the one the other day because it was a 13-1 small sample. But then John actually responded in the YouTube comments under the video that was part of a larger sample. And as you know, I like bigger sample sizes. And this one makes a lot of sense. It's very clean. Like you said, there's no tight parameters. The only question I would have is that recent revenge or is it any loss during the season? John might want to clarify that. But if it's a revenge situation, that is an angle I use in the NBA.
Any loss during the season, yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know if that's like the last meeting, though. I would like it a little bit more if that's the case. But Ski pointed out that he likes to play on these teams coming off, home dog losses that are now on the road, and this is kind of a little bit of an angle that correlates to that as well. So I think this one makes sense, and I had no problem using it.
Ski is, guys, behind the scenes, the angle of the day, Ski is just like this the whole time. So Lakers it is, man, back in the angle of the day. We're going to go ahead, move on to our first featured game of the night. And this is going to be a fun one. Milwaukee Bucks taking on the Portland Trailblazers. It opened up at 4, gentlemen, and I am seeing 3s now in a number of spots for Milwaukee as a favorite on the road, 239 as it inches up a little bit. So, Teddy, let me start with you, my friend, here. The Blazers are playing some quality basketball here. They're a dog at home. What gives to you?
So it's bet against versus bet against in one sense. Portland had a great road trip. They closed out the road trip with a resounding win where they blew out the Pistons in the second half, a game where they were flat early and then took care of business. And oftentimes you don't love the teams their first game back home off the successful road trip. So there's your anti-Blazers portion of the equation. I think the anti-Bucks portion of the equation is probably a little bit stronger. My numbers, and this is, again, very specific. This is a list of the NBA teams that are currently at least 5 games over 500. You have the Bucks, the Sixers, the Nets, the Jazz, the Lakers, the Suns, the Clippers, the Nuggets, and the Blazers. Okay? If you want, you can make a case that Dallas and Boston are teams that are good contending teams that could be on that list as well, even though they don't have the records to show it. So that's 11 good teams. Milwaukee's one of those 11 good teams. So that leaves there 10 good teams that they could have faced this season. They're 3-12 against the spread against those 10 good teams. 1-7 their last 8 against those good teams. And even the 1 W comes with an asterisk. You remember the game? They were playing the Clippers at home. The Clips had them beat, and then they went scoreless the last 3 minutes. And the Bucks came back and stole it. That's the only cover, the only win they have against any of these good teams. And on the other side of the equation, while I don't love the spot for Portland, you're going to tell me which of these two teams offers value right now? The Blazers are a really good team that's still being priced like a good team. Portland of these two is the team that offers the value right now in the betting markets, in my opinion. So clearly, I'm not making a case for the road favorite in this one.
Yeah, Lillard, they're healthy too. They almost got Collins back, Ski. I mean, they're really starting to come together at the right time. They're home and they're getting points here. How are you going to approach this game?
Yeah, they're hardly ever healthy. So while they are, I think you have to take advantage. And Teddy broke down the side pretty good. I agree with everything he said. So I'll just talk about the total. And both teams, top 10 3-point percentage. And both teams not good guarding the perimeter. Milwaukee wants to play fast. Portland has been playing faster lately. I see a lot of points in this game, especially if you like the Portland side. It's not like Portland's been playing much defense. So they're going to win the game on offense. And I do think Milwaukee can do enough to keep up. I like this game to go up and over the total.
Up and over, guys. 239 is what we're seeing right now in a number of spots. I mean, Steve, listen, we're talking about Portland at home. They have not been great. 9-14 against the number. 3-4 straight up and against the number as a home dog here. So maybe too much love Portland way. What do you think?
Yeah, I want to bring another European country into the Friday equation. When you don't have anything, you're Switzerland because you stay neutral. But if I agree with both analysis so far, would I be France since they kind of capitulated to everybody in World War II? Would that be a good analogy to say I'm France? Because I agree. I agree with Teddy. I think the side is a toss-up. No.
Actually, what you get is you get half a flag. That's what you get. You're half for Switzerland is what you get. Figure it out here, Merrill. Where you going?
That's that evil-looking flag I never wanted to see again, and you guys threw it on me. My goodness, diplomacy gets me that evil flag. I can't get over that. No, I think the side's a toss-up, but I would agree with Ski with the over. So I'm not pulling a Switzerland. And like you said, the three-point numbers do jump off at you, like 38, 39%. They both take a higher than normal amount of threes as well. And if Portland's a little flat after the road trip, I think that could show more on the defensive side. As I've always said, I think the hangovers, the letdowns affect the defense. All these teams can score in their sleep basically nowadays in the NBA. So I would agree with the over, and I agree with Teddy to probably stay away from the side.
All right, there you go, guys. All right, we're going to move on. Game number 2 here, our featured game of the night. This is, we're going to look at the Minnesota Timberwolves taking on the Memphis Grizzlies, a Grizzlies team which we've had Rob Vino on this show. We've had Ski talk about how the Grizzlies second half going to be a bet on team. Well, this game opened up at right around that 7.5. I'm seeing 6s now. So that means Minnesota getting a lot of love here. 231 pretty much across the board here. So, Merrill, I'm going to come back to you. Talk to me here, man. Minnesota is getting a lot of love here in the market. Do you agree?
No, I think it's a bounce back spot for Memphis. I mentioned how college basketball cooled off for me in the Elite Eight, but the NBA's really been picking up for me. Not only 2-0 the last 2 nights on best bets, but those 2 days I filled in for Teddy with the big game breakdown, had a couple winners on Wager Talk today. And then when I was on the show last year on Wednesday, I used the Memphis Grizzlies here on the show, and they didn't win the game, but they got the all-important cover as a 5.5 to 6 point dog, losing by just 4. So they're in excellent current form now, 6-1 against the spread their last 7, even though they've lost 3 of their last 4 games. All 3 losses, by the way, came to Utah. So this is what I call a step down in class here for a team I think that's still playing good basketball, coming off a loss. Meanwhile, Minnesota coming off a 1-point win against the Knicks. I'm not buying into the T-Wolves still. I think we're getting a better team here in a focus spot with the Memphis Grizzlies.
Yeah, at a better number here, Ski. I'm looking on the nothing out of the ordinary as far as injuries go, unless you've heard something, Ski. But I don't know. Memphis has dominated them. What changes here tonight?
I still think they can dominate them. The only thing for me in this game is I don't think you're necessarily getting a discount on the line with Memphis. I think you're kind of paying a little more than you should, but I still think that they can cover the number. So I'm not going to get away from it. Memphis has been really good since the break. They've looked better the last 5 games. That's kind of how I cap. I trust them a lot more defensively than I trust Minnesota. And so for those reasons, I still like Memphis in this game. I tend to think it can get over. Minnesota plays fast, play no defense. Memphis also wants to play fast. They're pretty solid defensively, but if they get those turnovers, they will get out and run. So I still like it to go over. The pace makes me think it can get over the total as well.
Yeah, I mean, what do you think, Teddy? The market's kind of saying, slow down. They're not as good as we think we are, maybe Memphis against this Minnesota team. But Minnesota hasn't won back-to-back games since the first week of the season here. Something's got to give. What do you think?
It is worth noting that when they did win back-to-back games, when they were relatively healthy, and they're probably as healthy as they've been all year. Right now, they're covering numbers. They covered, 3 of the last 4, including a pair of wins and a competitive effort against Brooklyn. I like the quotes coming out of Minnesota right now. My priority number of the game is only 6.5. It's not like it's right on par with the market. And Memphis has been an excellent moneymaker for their backers since the All-Star break. But when we try to project forward, there's 2 teams in particular that are going to run out of steam at some point in the month of April. I cashed a ticket bet against one of them last night in double overtime, being the Spurs. The other one's the Grizzlies. The 2 teams that had the first half pauses that now have to play 40 games in 68 days in the second half, they're going to be gassed. Memphis is not going to continue to cover point spread. They can't. It's maybe they will. They could. I don't think it's likely that the Grizzlies are going to do that. And they're certainly not a team I love laying points with. So I don't want Minnesota off a win necessarily, but you ask me which of these two teams can you make more money with over the next couple of weeks? Maybe the T-Wolves.
Interesting. Yeah, actually, they are. I mean, the healthiest that they've been since the beginning of the season. So it should be an interesting game here, guys, tonight. That being Memphis taking on the Minnesota Timberwolves, 8 p.m. Eastern time tip-off on that one. That'll lead us to our overtime game here today. And before we get to that, guys, I do just want to remind you, 30-day all-access deal right now, $199. Get every selection, every sport from these three gentlemen right now. Visit Ski, visit Merrill, and, of course, visit Teddy Cover's page, Wager Talk, and you can get every one of their plays in every sport for the next 30 days, just $199. It is a great opportunity, guys, and it's going away quick. So take advantage of it. Head over there now. Head over to their pages at WagerTalk.com. All right, let's take a look at our overtime game, which features the Utah Jazz and the Chicago Bulls. Now, this game opened up 228.5. It's been bet down all morning, 224.5. Now I'm seeing some 225. So it's interesting here, Ski. Talk to me about this one here. Do you agree with that movement down, or is the value now on the over for you?
It's looked like we're changing it to undertime. Yesterday, I think we had a big line move towards the under, and it cashed on the under. And today, smaller move, but I tend to agree still. I think I like Utah more in this game. And because of that reason, Utah's the number one defensive rated team over the last 5 games. I can see Chicago struggling to score, especially you have Zach LaVine, game time decision. If he doesn't go, you're missing a lot of points. Kobe White, he's also game time decision. And if he doesn't go, you're missing some points. So I trusted that Jazz to play some defense. And therefore, I think I like this one to go under. My number is 222.5.
Okay, interesting over there. And I think Mitchell is he active? Looks
active.
Like he is active. Okay, so he's back active there, Merrill. So talk to us. If there is no LaVine or Colby White, maybe it's a easy under. But where's the value to you?
Well, as I say every time we talk about the Jazz, whether it's the side or total, it's been a fascinating case study this year. That monster 17-2 point spread run, and how quickly they fell after that. But as I pointed out when I used the Grizzlies as the best bet on the show on Wednesday, it's been night and day for Utah on the road and at home this season. Definitely from a point spread perspective, but their defense has also been much weaker on the road, and that's why they started to fail to cover when they hit that road trip a few weeks ago. But defensively at home, for some reason, they play a lot better. And I don't think it's a total fluke. I do think teams sometimes wear out a little bit in the second half, especially in the altitude. But look again on Wednesday night, Jazz shoot less than 43. They give up 47. They somehow beat Memphis by 4, didn't cover, as I mentioned. But those 3-4 home games before that, 35, 40, 45, 36 allowed defensively. So if they bring the defense back at home, which they've been doing recently, that would give you some support for the under. So I would not be jumping on the over bandwagon in this one.
Yeah, it hasn't been a good stretch here, Teddy, for the Bulls here. The points have not exactly been easy on their losing streak here, but I don't know. Do you think certainly if one of those guys plays, White or LaVine, that we've got a shot of hitting the over, or is it under all the way for you?
So it's one of those deals where we can't. I'm not going to recommend an overplay until we know what's going on with the starting backcourt for Chicago.
Right.
I don't want the over if LaVine and White don't suit up. I want both of them back there, and that's the only way I would even think about the over. But, I mean, you look at every recent meeting between these two teams. The Bulls haven't scored more than 103 against Utah in the last 10. And I know it's a different a different Bulls team and a different Jazz team than we saw a few years back. But this has been a strong under series if you look at the long-term history or the last 10 meetings between these two squads. And it's not like Chicago. I don't like the way the Bulls are playing on either end right now. I really don't. I thought they might get a big boost from the trade. And they snuck in and got the point spread cover against the Suns thanks to not one but two 2-point shots in the last 12 seconds of that ball game to sneak in under the number. And, of course, the game flew over. But without Chicago's starting backcourt and given the Jazz defensive strengths, I don't know that I want the over here. It's not a total that I could bet right now comfortably.
Yeah, no, it's maintaining, guys. 220. I'm actually seeing a 225.5, so maybe coming back up a little bit after a low of 224.5 this afternoon. So keep an eye on that game, guys, as that tips off at 9:10 Eastern Time. Chicago in Utah, and it is time for us to head to the buzzer beater, our best bet section here, where we put 60 seconds on the clock. You guys can do whatever you want as long as you give us a best bet. And trust me, Ski is going to come out swinging here with 60 seconds on the clock as his buddy Teddy is here ready to go. So come on there, Ski. 60 seconds, brother. Talk to us. Where are you going tonight?
Yeah, I usually like to spar with Teddy on the show, but I think I had enough backup this time on the Lakers, so I could let it go. I could just be over it now. I had John Ryan backing me up, have the Contrarian play backing me up, so I can leave Teddy alone today.
Sure. And I'm not even strong on it.
So where I go for my best bet, and I really wanted another game, but the injuries, so many guys are out, so I'll go to a different game. I'm going to look at the total, and I already talked about it. It's the Milwaukee Bucks and the Portland Trailblazers. The Bucks, they've allowed 110 plus 9 of their last 13. Portland, they're not winning games on defense. They're going to win on offense. They're scoring 120 plus 7 of their last 13. I know that they're going to play faster. We know Milwaukee wants to play fast. Lastly, I look at totals this year, 235 or higher. They are 40-17 against the spread. That's 70.2%. Don't be scared of the high total. Bet it over 239.
Ooh, man. That was sweet. Nothing but net there. All right, guys. Back away from your screens. There is a prop or two, I am sure, that's going to come up here. As long as Merrill remains seated, we'll be all right. I'm almost afraid to ask Merrill, but 60 seconds on the clock, my man. Where are you going tonight?
Yeah, Joe's foreshadowing abilities are creepy, as we know, and he saw me moving around a lot in the office here before the showtime today, so I know he's extra nervous heading into a holiday weekend here on the East Coast. But I'm going to give you a best bet that we talked about here a little bit earlier on the show, and I like the Memphis Grizzlies minus that 6.5. It opened 6. It's up to 6.5. But as I mentioned, their 3 recent losses all came against the Utah Jazz, one of the best, if not the best, regular season team, at least in the league this year. Otherwise, they've had a pretty tough schedule. In fact, if you look at all their other games, they played some good opponents here over the last few weeks. But they did beat Golden State. They beat Boston. They beat Miami. They lost to Phoenix, but they've stepped up when they needed to. And now they're taking on a Minnesota team that I am not a believer in, just 12-36 on the season, yet coming off a rare win by 1 point against the Knicks on Wednesday. So we've got a Memphis team coming off a loss, a bad Minnesota team coming off a win. I like to fade teams like that. Memphis Grizzlies minus 6.5. And just for you, Joe Ranieri, the Easter Bunny is going to take the final shot on the holiday weekend.
Oh, man, the bunny has got better hops than you do. Oh, you like what I did there? Teddy,
of course,
come on, my man. 60 seconds on the clock. Give it to us, man. Where are you going tonight?
So I think there's some real false favorites in the NBA tonight. And I before the show, I was debating which of the two I was going to use. I'm going to use them both. That's the bottom line. So let's start with Toronto should not be laying 4.5. Okay, I know Steph Curry's not playing, but it's a Raptors team that's looked like crap. And you read the quotes coming out of Toronto, and they're like, yeah, we're not exactly sure what's wrong. Oh, yeah, we're going to try to fix it. But, I mean, it's not. There's no urgency in the quotes. There's nothing in the quotes for the Raptors except for the expectation of more losing. I know it's no Curry, but I think Golden State should have just about everybody back tonight but Curry. I think they're live dogs in that one. And what are the Celtics doing laying 11.5? Now, I just saw some info that says John Wall might not play tonight, and that has me concerned about the Rockets. But Houston, I haven't bet on the Houston Rockets once this season. I went back and looked. Tonight's the night. Houston plus the points against the Celtics.
Did you get that, Ski? He went with the hell no, Houston Rockets, man. But you know what? It is against the Celtics. So
I'll take them off the list for tonight. I'll take them off the list.
For what they are. I love it. All right, Rockets and Golden State Warriors tonight. And our play of the day from our friends at the Gold Sheet, guys. That happens to be, they're going dogs themselves here. Portland at home against the Milwaukee Bucks, laying the 3. That's where they're going in that one. So once again, guys, to recap our best bets and buzzer beaters here on the show, Ski, Bucks Trailblazers over 239. Do not be afraid of that big number. Stevie Merrill in the middle with 2 R's and 1 L. Grizzlies lay to 6.5. Teddy gave it was 2-for-1 Friday with Teddy covers, guys. Rockets taking the 11.5. And hell yeah, give me the 4.5 points with the Golden State Warriors taking on the the tanking Toronto Raptors. And our friends from the Gold Sheet, they like the Blazers getting the 3 points. And again, guys, quick reminder, WagerTalk.com right now. You head over to each of these gentlemen's page, the opportunity for you to hop on a 30-day all-access package. Get every selection of theirs, every sport, 30 days, just $199. It's kind of crazy. That includes every 5% player of theirs. Great opportunity for you guys to start off the spring and summer quarter here on a profitable note here. Head over there, WagerTalk.com. Go grab yourself a $199, a 30-day all-access package. So on behalf of Ski Profit, Stevie Merrill, 2 R's, 1 L, hanging out in the middle and hitting cleanup here. The Godfather, Teddy covers. Guys, hit that bell in the upper right-hand corner. Come back and join us on Monday. We get to do it all over again as the NBA continues to roll through. Hopefully, a couple of months, playoffs, championships. Going to be a lot of fun, guys. Best of luck with your plays. Come back and see us on Monday. We'll talk to you then.
Each and every Monday is $9 Monday at WagerTalk.com. All daily picks packages are priced at only $9, including $40 5% best bets. As an added bonus, all new users will receive $25 in WagerBucks credited to their accounts, available for immediate use after their initial $9 Monday purchase. So make sure to take advantage of $9 Mondays at WagerTalk.com.